When people think of the Triangle, what usually comes to mind is Raleigh, Durham, and Research Triangle Park. But the Triangle was named for the 3 cities that make up the region because they form a triangle. So clever. Chapel Hill, the 3rd city in the Triangle, is dwarfed in size by Raleigh and Durham. As of 2019, Chapel Hill's population is only about 8% of the combined populations of Raleigh and Durham. So it's small potatoes. But good things come in small packages. Chapel Hill has its own unique character and a very distinct culture within the Triangle. It's really one of a kind. Apex, North Carolina is a suburb of Raleigh, but it's actually pretty close in size to Chapel Hill. They have many similarities, but also many differences. For example, the median age in Chapel Hill is 25 years old and the median age in Apex is 37. There's a lot of college students in Chapel Hill, and that really makes a difference in the kinds of events that happen and just the overall culture of the town. Today, we're going to compare the 2 towns to get a good idea of what the culture of the towns are like, so you can decide which one is the town for you. When people think of Chapel Hill, they think of UNC Chapel Hill, the oldest public university in the United States. UNC is often referred to as a public Ivy, meaning that the quality of the education is equivalent to the private Ivy League schools, Princeton, Yale, Harvard, etc., available for a fraction of the cost in a public university. The Carolina blue, UNC's school color, is not only associated with the university and its college sports teams, which have a major influence on the town. You'll also see influences of Carolina blue throughout the town. For example, each fire station in Chapel Hill has a fire engine that's painted Carolina blue. So Apex has kind of a nerdy motto. It's known as the peak of good living. All right, maybe not nerdy, maybe a little boring. Who came up with that? Peak of good living. This phrase was based on the fact that the town was originally named for being the highest point on the Chatham Railroad line. Time and Money magazine named Apex the #1 place to live in the United States. That train depot is now the center of the historic downtown district, which is the hub of events and activities in Apex. Every year at a farm just outside Chapel Hill, employees, alumni, and students of UNC and Duke compete in the Battle of the Blues polo match. The day includes a classical riding exhibition. People dress up in Derbyshire hats and seersucker suits, which is standard Southern summer wear. I didn't know what a seersucker suit was before I moved to the South. Y'all locals be nice in the comments. This fun event is a fundraiser for local charities. The Carrboro Music Festival is another popular event in the Chapel Hill area. Actually, you should know that Carrboro is a small town that's kind of attached to Chapel Hill. You'll hear people talking about Carrboro a lot, and often the area is referred to as Chapel Hill Carrboro, but it kind of feels like it's the same town. Franklin Street is the main road of downtown Chapel Hill, and if you keep going on Franklin, in just a minute you'll be in Carrboro, and you won't even realize you left Chapel Hill. Anyway, during the music festival, there's music playing on every corner, there are shuttle buses and food trucks all over the place, and people just chill and enjoy the event. Apex Peak Fest is Apex's signature annual event. There is also live music and food and tons of arts and crafts vendors. There are street performers and dancing and children's rides, big bounce houses and monster slides and kids crafts. It's totally free and happens every May in downtown Apex. The other thing that I really love about Apex's annual festivals is that they're really inclusive to people with different abilities. They have a special needs fishing derby for people with disabilities. They have casting competition prizes, prizes for the most fish caught and the biggest fish caught. It's a wonderful event. They also have an event geared toward young children called Touch a Truck. So many kids really love large trucks, but they don't often get the opportunity to get close to them. At this event, local representatives and their vehicles come together from emergency, construction, landscaping, military, transportation, and the kids get to climb on them and touch them, ask questions, whatever they want, and it's really fun. Both Chapel Hill and Apex have remarkably low violent crime rates. Chapel Hill has a bit higher property crime than Apex, but generally both areas are very safe. Also, you can see here that both Apex and Chapel Hill have excellent schools. Chapel Hill has a few distinctive attributes. Downtown Franklin Street is amazing with all its breweries and restaurants and quaint little shops. There's also a little historic movie theater, the Varsity on Franklin Street, that people love going to. And Chapel Hill is home to the Moorhead Planetarium, one of the oldest and largest planetariums in the United States. All in all, this is a really neat downtown district with a little bit more of an urban city vibe than Apex. There are some historic areas, but a lot of it feels like a city street.
Oh, I got my water, I'm fine.
Chapel Hill also has some great parks and recreation opportunities. One beautiful place to visit is the North Carolina Botanical Gardens, which is a conservation garden in Chapel Hill. In comparison, downtown Apex oozes small town. The downtown is smaller than Chapel Hill's downtown, and most everything is historic in downtown Apex. There are quaint little coffee shops and restaurants and little junk stores and antique stores. There's a really cool skate park right around the corner, and just a few blocks away is the Apex Community Center. There are indoor sports courts, and you can download download the program guide at their website, and there are tons of classes for kids and adults, like so many things you can't even imagine the different stuff that you can do. From the arts to yoga to improv to disc golf, and they're also really affordable. Apex Community Park is just one of many amazing parks in Apex. It's 150 acres with a 50-acre lake where you can kayak or go stand-up paddleboarding or sailboarding or fishing. They've got volleyball, tennis, and basketball, and an Elevate fitness course. Okay, now I'm going to say something because people are always asking me for this kind of information, but don't get mad at me whether you think this is a good thing or a bad thing. I didn't make North Carolina the way it is. I'm just telling you so you can make decisions about your life. Chapel Hill is known as the most liberal area in the Triangle. It's actually second to Durham as far as percentage of liberal votes cast, but when people think of the most liberal place, I think Chapel Hill is the first town that comes to mind. Apex is in Wake County, and Wake County tends to be a little more mixed in their voting allegiances, as you can see on this map. Now, Wake County does lean liberal, just not as far as Chapel Hill. And just a reminder, I didn't make it this way. I'm just giving the information. The largest employers in Chapel Hill are UNC Chapel Hill, UNC Hospital, and the City and County Public Schools and the City and County government. Also, it's about a 20-minute drive from Chapel Hill to Research Triangle Park in Durham, so it's a popular place for people working in RTP who like a small town feel. The population of Chapel Hill is about 60,000 people, but that doesn't include roughly 15,000 UNC students. The median home price in Chapel Hill is $431,000, and in that price range, you can get a house like this one. I tend to see a lot more homes like this with the modernist influence in Chapel Hill, and generally, you're more likely to find more artistic and original styles of homes in Chapel Hill. This home is 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and 2,000 square feet, and the lot's about half an acre, which is more common in these older homes. Apex is also a commuter town with many people holding jobs in nearby RTP or Raleigh, but the town itself does have a few key employers, including Wake County Public Schools, the town of Apex, Dell Technologies, and Apex Tool Group. The population of Apex is about 51,000 people. The median home price is $410,000, and in Apex, I tend to see more traditional architecture, more of these modern farmhouse styles that are really popular right now, or just your basic 2-story with or without a front porch. For the median price, you can get a house like this one. It's 2,800 square feet, and that includes a walk-up 3rd floor finished attic. But in Chapel Hill, you're going to pay more for property taxes than in Apex. In Chapel Hill, the combined city and county property tax rate is $1.40 for every $100 in home value, and in Apex, it's 98 cents combined city and county per $100 in home value. So for $300,000, you're going to pay $4,200 in taxes in Chapel Hill and $2,940 in taxes in Apex. If you liked this video, you might also like this one comparing Cary and Holly Springs, or this video comparing Raleigh and Charlotte.